My topic is it came out earlier this week that there was a little bit of a leak of the announcement, not really announcement, but there was a leak that Naughty Dog is working on a sequel to The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Now, for those that don't know, the leak came from Nolan North. He is the voice actor of Nathan Drake in all the Uncharted games, and he was also the voice actor of a character named David in The Last of Us.
Really? Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
And he was at MetroCon last week or earlier this week, and he was hosting a panel, and one of the fans asked him, will you be like coming back for Naughty Dog's future games?
Yeah.
And he was basically like, as far as I know, Uncharted 4 is the last Uncharted, so I won't be back for that. He's like, and I do know they're working on a Last of Us 2, but my character met an untimely demise in the first one.
And they were like, wait.
Well, and here's the thing. Here's the thing is that like he just kept going, like he just played it off like everyone knew this, and so it was really interesting because he didn't like catch himself.
Yeah.
He didn't like, and nobody. And what was weird is like in the audience, because I watched the video in the audience, nobody like freaked out. Was like, oh my god. Mm-hmm. Everyone was just like, oh okay. It was really weird.
They probably said it so casually to all the people there. Were like, oh, that's really interesting. Well, I'm glad he's gonna be what.
So, as of right now, Naughty Dog has not commented on this. All right, there's no official announcement or response to this. But my first thing I want to talk about is how you guys feel about this.
I'm really excited about it.
Really,
I really like The Last of Us. I'm okay with it being, if it would have stayed its own separate thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want a continuation of the story, but I'm completely cool with another story in that universe.
Yeah. Okay.
This was brought up in one of our other episodes.
We have talked about this before. What about you?
I never played the first one. I just watched it like on stream and whatnot.
Yeah.
It was a super cool game. Won't say anything bad about it because there's really nothing bad about it.
Yeah.
It's a story-driven game, which are always great. And like the plethora, whatever, the ton of like shitty games that are out right now.
Oh, and
plethora?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if I just like heard this somewhere, if I read it, but I remember him. I remember them saying that it won more Game of the Year awards than any other game in the past.
200 Game of the Year
Yeah,
awards.
it's literally like it's considered the best game of the last like 20 years, the best video game of the last like 20 years.
I'm still stuck on the word
plethora.
Yeah, it just doesn't.
I know you've never played the first one.
No.
Do you ever plan to? Because you need to.
Right after, it's probably gonna be between like the September-y time when I play it, because I have like 4 games to play within the next few.
Because it really is
the
one of
next
those
month.
games that like everyone should play.
It's
Like if you
definitely
haven't played
great.
The Last of Us, you should take the time to play it because it is really one. Like honest to God, like when every gaming critic out there gives it a perfect 10 or a perfect 5 out of 5, whatever their scoring system is,
Yeah.
that's when you know like it's worth the time to play the game.
Everything about it was good. Zero complaints.
But like, do you care that they're doing a sequel? Like does that entice you to play it more or less?
No.
Less?
It has no
effect
on
at all?
whether I'm going to play the first one or not, or the second one or not. Eventually I'll get to it. It's just I have more important things right now that I want to play, that I want to get to first. Games that I already know I'm going to love versus something that I like. Again, I've never played. I've never even watched it be played.
Mm-hmm.
I think I watched like the first 20 minutes of it be played in a reaction video when they had like old people play like the first 20 minutes of the game, and they're just like, "What the fuck?" So, because that's another long story, but it doesn't affect me buying it, playing it either way.
Okay. Okay, first of all, we've talked about this show on the show before. A couple episodes ago, we talked about how we feel about leaks. I personally can't stand leaks.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that people could just keep their mouths shut. It ruins the surprise.
Yeah.
But that's really all I have to say about that. I don't want to go on a tangent about leaks. But I want to talk a little bit about... We won't go into a spoilery realm for anybody out there that hasn't played it. But I want to talk about
Spoil it for me.
the sequel. I personally never wanted a sequel to The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Now, I read an interesting article when I was doing research for this show today that said that Naughty Dog hasn't had a game that hasn't had a sequel since Crash Bandicoot.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Makes
it
sense.
was like, if you really expect The Last of Us to not have a sequel, you need to like come back to reality. And I was like, okay, I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
But it was one of those games where, like, when it ends, that is all that needs to be said.
Yeah.
There doesn't need to be another game.
Yeah.
It just can end there. So with that said, I'm kind of in agreement with you that, like, if they do a sequel, have that world, but tell a different story with different cast.
Yeah.
But
Like,
go ahead.
The only thing I'm okay with them doing in the realm of Joel and Ellie is that 20-year span.
Yeah.
When, like, virus outbreaks and you start the game.
Yeah.
I'm okay with something in
In
there.
between. Like,
But other than that,
what did you say before?
Joel and his brother.
Yeah, Joel and his brother. Like, a story that shows, like, because, like, multiple times in the game they talk about the things they've done to survive.
Yeah, I couldn't
Yeah.
sleep because of the things he did.
Yeah, so that would be cool to see that.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool to explore that. What about you? What do you think?
Like I said, I never played the first one, but
You've seen the majority of it, though.
yeah, I've seen enough to know everything that happens, so all of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there should be a second one.
Me either.
Just leave it.
Yeah.
Like, not to go back to Heavy Rain again, but like Heavy Rain is just like that story.
Yeah.
There's the multiple endings, so there's multiple stories in it.
Mm-hmm.
But it just seems like in that universe there should have only been one game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then now, if they ever do make a movie of it, there will be
Yeah, then there
multiple
has to
movies.
be. Yeah. Which they are writing a movie for.
Yeah.
It just hasn't really gotten off the ground yet. But
Yeah.
It's like the Kane and Lynch movie that never happened.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, dude.
Bro,
Holy shit.
I'm still bitter. Me and Dalt played that
Dude, yes.
to death.
So much.
And
That was one of our very first PS3 games that we had.
it's such a solid game.
Yeah.
And like the aiming was so good
Yeah.
with the guns.
Thad, have you ever had a game that you like wish there wasn't a sequel in?
No, but I will play devil's advocate here for a little bit.
Okay.
Dick.
I know someone has to do it. We can't all agree.
It's always you though.
It is always well, because no one else wants to take the reins and be
Hashtag
a shitty person.
No. Okay, go ahead.
No, I feel like going after a second game makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, money wise.
But they can create a new story, and if they create it well enough, it will sell just as good as The Last of Us.
They
Exactly.
could poop in the container, close it, say Last of Us 2, and people will buy the shit out of
Listen,
it.
New
honestly,
IPs.
honestly though, I agree with you, but I also think they could do the same exact thing and just stamp the Naughty Dog logo on it,
Yeah.
and the same thing would happen.
Every
Yes.
game's been fucking
Their
stellar.
games are like their games are amazing, all of them.
That's true.
So I think you could do the same exact thing, just anything they put on.
Yeah.
But I understand the business side of making a sequel to The Last of Us because it is the
It's-
highest rated game of 20 years.
It's just like it's one of those things like they just can't not at least look into that.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, with a game that gets so many awards, that gets so highly appraised, how could they not think about making a sequel?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at it like that, it makes sense, and maybe they will do something different with it to give you something fresh,
Right.
because they're not a stupid studio. They're not one of the dumb publishers out there who are like, here's Call of Duty again. Here's Call of
I knew
Duty
you were
again.
gonna say it. I was
Yeah.
gonna say Activision.
Yeah, they're not Activision. They're not like Activision who like just goes after the.
Yeah.
They're not purely after the money and like if I can't make a sequel out of this, I don't want this
Yeah.
IP.
That's
not like
that's
that.
fair, I think.
Yeah.
They're not like that, but I think they do have it in them to make a separate story in the same world.
Mhm.
Yeah. And like, with Naughty Dog's sequels prior to this, they've done a great job. Like the entire Jack and Daxter series, each game was a little more different than the last and added so much more like rich story. Even though it was more of a kid's game, it was still like big plot twists,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of different action, good storytelling, and they've like how we talked about just matured over the years.
Yeah.
And Yeah.
Well, I think
I would say Jack and Daxter grew with us.
Well, I think that's a great point. I always talk so highly of Kojima. I always talk so highly and say like he always innovates on his games. Every sequel he does to Metal Gear Solid is different in some way. And I think Naughty Dog's another studio that does that with their games. Every game, even in their sequels, is the same game, but they've added some new feature that isn't just a gimmick, but it innovates the gameplay. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
So I do agree. Like I think they could do a sequel justice, but story-wise, that story doesn't need a sequel.
Yeah.
So I hope if they do it, they do a different story. You know what I mean?
It would be cool to see like the fallout of it.
Of that, yeah.
And to go with one of your comments, I think not because I'm a fanboy of Ratchet and Clank, but I think Ratchet and Clank grew up more with us because there was more along the line. Yeah. Where Jack and Daxter was the three main.
Jack 2, Jack 3, Daxter, Jack X, and Jack Ace Combat.
Yeah. Well, there's like 7 Ratchet and Clank games, I think, or 6
main games,
and
not
then
counting spin-offs.
PSP. There's 2 PSP, and then there's a mobile, and then one like PlayStation Wand.
The PlayStation Move Heroes.
Yeah.
I forgot about that game.
Yeah, same here.
I actually had that game for a little while.
Did you? Nice.
It was all for some. No.
I see the thing.
It was a dumbass title that included like 4 people.
See, I never played any of the Ratchet and Clanks, so I can't really like speak.
They were really
grew
good.
up with us.
All of them are good.
Because if I went back and I tried to play it already.
Do you have a PS3?
PS Vita.
Well, I was gonna say I have the collector's edition.
I have the first 3.
To borrow that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, is it Ratchet and Clank that I started playing again, Waters?
I don't know. You've
On my
been
Vita?
telling me how much time you need to put in Final Fantasy, and you've been playing Drive Club, so I don't really know what you're doing.
Well, I found out Drive Club was free, so I downloaded it, and I was like, yeah.
I'm definitely gonna download it.
Yeah, I downloaded it. I was like, well, why wouldn't I get it if it's for free?
See, I'm not gonna download it just because my memory's already like
Yeah,
that much left.
I'm just fucking swimming in memory. I have like 400 gigs still.
dude, I download everything that's free.
House.
Everything that's free.
I don't.
I clean house.
That's dumb.
Yeah, I usually don't download free things.
These dumbass indie games.
Dude,
That's all we get. This is like the first AAA game
But
that
honestly,
the
a lot of them are
PS4 has
good.
got. Double A game that we've got.
Yeah.
It
Since-
started off as a big deal.
Since I got my PlayStation Plus, that is like the biggest game that's came out for the PlayStation 4.
In June, we also had Ground Zeroes.
Yes, I was just
I
gonna say
forgot
that.
about that.
Yeah. That's really all I had on The Last of Us.